The name of that song is called Better Than What I Got, and it was written and performed by my special guest today, Heather Sorona. Hi, Heather. Thanks for joining us on the Friday Afternoon Music Mix.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Greg. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We want to talk about your new album, which just was released on the 28th of January, called Head Above Water. I understand this is your first full album that you've released. There was a previous EP that you did in 2017, which I listened to this morning. I liked a lot. It's called Waltz.
That's right.
Tell me a little bit about your process of putting this together. There's some, I mean, you've got a beautiful voice. You've got some really wonderful lyrics that we're going to talk about in some of your songs here today. The title cut, I really liked a lot.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm glad.
yes, indeed. um, what was it that I liked about that? It's about I don't remember how to swim. Do you?
Yes, yes. That
That's
was my quarantine coronavirus song that I wrote kind of about how when usually in your life, not every single person you know is going through a crisis at the same time. So usually you can lean on your spouse or your friends or your parents or your brothers and sisters, friends, everybody. But we're all struggling. We're all struggling together during that time and struggling to still be kind to each other and living so closely to the people we love. So Head Above Water was the chorus is like, you can't mount a rescue when you're drowning too. It's hard to help someone when you need help. So.
right. It's beautiful. The lyrics, you listen to them, you go, ooh, there's a lot of personal in this, and there's a lot of personal in all of your lyrics.
That is very true.
One of them, of course, is we're going to play in just a minute on here that you wrote about called "I'll Be Lost." About has a lot to do with your husband.
That's true. Yes. That I wrote after I took my kids on a trip to the beach with some friends, and it was just my children, and my husband stayed home to work. We have very rarely spent time apart. That was maybe one of the first times we'd spent like a night apart. I usually sleep really close to him. And when I was in a bed by myself, I'm like, I don't really even know where to be in this bed, like to the left, the right, the middle, without him. And when I got home, I was sitting with my youngest, who I think he was not even 1 year. No, he's not even my youngest anymore. I have another one now. But at the time, he was my youngest, and he was like one. And I got out my guitar, and the first verse of that song just flew out. Like, it was so easy to write. And then it took me like another year and a half to finish it. But
Really?
yeah, it has like a really strong metaphor. You are the anchor in the ocean of my bed, because it was like, I don't know where to sleep in the bed. So, you're my anchor. And then I didn't know what to do with the lyrics, because I'm like, do I keep going like with this nautical metaphor? Because that got old really fast. I'm like,
I can imagine.
lighthouses and shores. I don't know how to keep writing about this. And it took a long time to figure out like a place to go with the lyrics.
You did a good job.
Well,
And
thank you.
there was something that you wrote that I liked an awful lot when you said you liked the way your husband looked at you, and that's what attracted you almost from the very beginning. After you wrote about that, this quote was great. It said, "Just in case you're wondering, he does still look at me the same way."
Yes. Yeah. Well, I started having people ask me that if I would say that describing this song. And they're like, well, because it was about this fear, like that it would stop, like you have all those really big feelings at the beginning of a relationship. And then are they going to fade? And there's all that anxiety. For me, there was like anxiety about that. So,
Good. He's a lucky guy. There's no
oh,
question. You talked about your guitar playing, and I read about you at 14 years old found your father's guitar up in the attic, and that started it all.
yeah, that's right. I had played piano before, kind of took lessons in elementary school and fell off with that and just played around with it. I never was a great songwriter on piano. It just didn't click for me a lot of the time. Cleaning out our attic to try to make my hangout space, because I was a teenager and I needed a hangout space. And my dad had played guitar for a while in the like the 80s, and so there was one just up there. I'm like, oh, I should try to learn how to play this, and that started it all.
And then you graduated on to banjo and ukulele. You're multi
Mhm.
instrumentalist.
Yeah, and I just got a mandolin for my husband gave me a mandolin for Christmas, and I have been loving that. I don't know how to play hardly anything yet, but it's really fun.
Another Sam Bush or Ricky Skaggs, maybe.
One day, I no, still probably never. But
That's funny. I want you to talk a little bit about how you play the guitar, which is very unique. I read about that. I know that you play guitar often the way a banjo is picked.
I use the banjo picks, the metal picks, but I don't use them correctly. I turn them around backwards, and it's kind of
Really?
like yeah, it's. I started doing it maybe 10 years ago because I like to strum really hard and I like to have a lot of like rhythmic strumming. I felt like I couldn't get the sound that I wanted with my fingernails and I was wearing them off. And I wanted to have freedom to still finger pick at times. So, like, a flat pick didn't really get me there either. So, I had those laying around. I'm like, let me just turn them around and try it that way. And it creates a a really bright sound because you've got a metal pick on a metal string, which personally I like. Like, my guitar is a Taylor 616 CE, which is a maple guitar, which is a bright sound. So I'm very bright. I'm a very bright sound. But yeah, that's my weird little guitar style.
That's great. What's your father think about what's happening for a career after finding that guitar in the attic?
Well, my father actually passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. It's actually his birthday on January 28th. So that was part of why I had chosen that day to release the album because, that's a really significant day in my life. But he was always incredibly proud of me and extremely, extremely supportive. So I'm sure
What
he would be very proud.
What a great tribute to do it on his birthday, the
Yeah.
release. That's terrific. Art sent me your album, and I've really enjoyed it a lot. I want to, you know what, we talked about I'll Be Lost. Why don't we go ahead and listen to that right now? How's that sound?
That sounds great.
You are the anchor in the ocean of my pain. And I'm away, I don't know where to lay my head. I'm splayed across the waves and drifting through my dreams till I'm back in your arms. I'll be
Very personal song. I like that a lot. I really do. You have been getting a lot of recognition lately. The IBMA Showcase Songwriter 2021. That's great. Don Gibson Singer-Songwriter Symposium. The Backwoods Beat Musical Festival Songwriting Competition. This is wonderful that you know you're finally making it after having this little bit of a gap between your freshman and your sophomore releases.
I did have a big gap. Part of that was, well, a lot of that was COVID related. We started recording it in March 2020.
Oh, you did?
It was like the day before my children's school closed was when we started. So that, and then I had a baby after that. So there were some roadblocks in the 2020-2021 timeframe.
You have some really talented people that you put together to record with you on this album. Can you talk a little bit about them?
Sure. Well, I recorded it at the Rubber Room in Chapel Hill, North Carolina with Jerry Brown, who has recorded everyone who plays music, I feel like, in the bluegrass acoustic genre. He's amazing. And as part of that, he is friends with and knows everybody. And that was a great way to connect with some people. So Andrew Merlin of Watch House Mandolin Orange plays mandolin on a couple of songs, and Libby Rodenbaugh from Mipso plays fiddle on a few, and Sarah McCombie from Chatham Rabbits plays clawhammer banjo on a few as well.
That's great. I hope I can get this right. You were born in, you live in Holly Springs, but you were born in an area north and east of Charlotte that's pronounced Uwharrie.
You got it.
I thought sure I was going to mess that up.
You got it. It's the little Uwharrie mountain range in the Uwharrie National Forest. A little tiny green spot in the center of North Carolina on the map.
Just north and east of Charlotte, isn't it? Yeah. That's great. What a beautiful area. And you still live in North Carolina now.
I do. I left for about 10 years and lived in the D.C. area, but I've been back here since 2014. I love North Carolina.
And the D.C. area has a lot of great music in it, too, especially for bluegrass artists when you're talking about the Birchmere and other places like that.
True, yeah.
Did you play there at all when you were up there?
I had not started gigging and playing music out or anything like that when I lived there. So
yeah, I spent 18 years in that area, so
oh, really?
I'm very familiar. Yeah, that's a great area for music as well. The album, let's do this and tell people about it. It's called Head Above Water, and that release date is January the 28th, 2022. Heather has a 3-song EP from 2017 that's simply titled Waltz. Those are available at all the outlets, I assume, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you buy and listen to music. I saw that you're kind of in a hiatus right at the moment, but you're going to get back out on the road again here soon, aren't you?
I have been on a little bit of a break, just kind of trying to feel out the way things are right now. I actually have one coming up this weekend, but it's a local thing kind of for a friend. But yeah, hoping to get back out there soon.
Oh, that's great. Well, of course, safety is the most important thing right now. And, all of us are wondering how that's going to work out. Right. Let's also point out that you've got some great YouTube videos that people... By the way, I wanted to tell you that you should be an actress because you have a great relationship with the camera.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, you do. It's an additional attraction to you. Also, in addition to your music, because you really know how to look at that camera. I'm an actor, so I know. That's always a challenge for me. But boy, you're a natural at that.
Oh,
you really are.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And they should look at your website as well. And I'm just checking to make sure I've got that correctly. It's heathersorona.com. Let's spell that because I had a little trouble with it when I first talked to you. It's SARONA.com, heathersorona.com. Heather, thank you so very much for taking time to talk with me today. I'm just thrilled about this new album. I wish you all the best with it. I know it's going to be very successful. I'll look forward to, if you ever get out this way and tour and bring the whole family, please stop by. Love to have you come in the studio. That'd be a lot of fun, you know. with your, by then you'll be a master on the mandolin, I'm sure. That's great. Well, on our way out the door, let's do another song from this new album that's titled Head Above Water. It's called All I Need. Heather, thanks again. Stay safe. The best wishes to you.
Thank you, Greg. Same to you.